let's put it this way. I have the F. Okay, so let's put it really nicely. So let's just say I want to have different shapes, correct? And in my arbor, when I created them, they're all over the place. Same way that you're gonna do it, guys, is the same way that you did before, which is you select all the shapes that you want, and you notice that once I select, the alignment selection shows up on top. Put them to the side. You want to distribute it, move them around, and you can even distribute evenly. Okay? And that's how, hold on a second. You can distribute it evenly. This is me putting in the center. This is me distributing it evenly. These alignment tools are everywhere. They have it even in PowerPoint or Excel, so you guys will most likely be familiar with them. Same thing with my lines. If I'm making different lines, please don't give me different lines here and there. Put them together. Make it a presentation. Everything needs to look good. Get used to this class having good presentations. It just makes you learn how to do files. Okay. Now, we are going to go into, hold on a second. Oh, there you go. We're going to go into drawing. In Brightspace, I make sure to include an image of a tank. Hi, this is a tank. We are going to draw the tank today. Okay? Now, we're going to, not all of it. Don't worry. We're going to simplify it. We're going to draw that, the tank, like a dress tank. We're going to draw it. So that's also your homework. Now, in Brightspace, I have put this picture for you to draw already. This image, the same way that you drop an image in Photoshop, is the same way you do it in Illustrator. I don't need the image. I just need to draw it. So I can minimize it. At this point, bless you, at this point, I don't need you to give me an exact scale. This is just for you guys to practice how to draw, okay? And I'm seeing for a few things, so we're gonna do it. Now, this is the image right here. We can work in layers, just like in Photoshop. I'm not doing anything else. I go to the layers. If you don't know where's layers at, you can always look for Windows, and there is layers. We can lock this one in because I'm not doing anything with this image. I'm just copying it to draw. Got it? Okay, lock it in. And I create another layer, and I'm working in that layer now. I'm gonna use my pen tool. I'm gonna try my best to copy it. Okay? I am not showing you how to mirror lines or how to make dashes, none of that today. It's just simple line work, because I feel like there was a lot of information for today. So first, because it's easiest, I'm just gonna go and outline the best way that I know how, just the outside. Usually when you draw flat sketches, you draw the outside. So I'm gonna start with the shoulder because that's what I'm used to. So you click on the shoulder, you connect the outside, but look, I have a curve here. We have practice curves, correct? Right on the underarm, I click, but I click and drag. That's why I made you click and drag. Now I have an armhole. The same thing. Look, this is becoming a curve, but I need a straight side. What do? I take away, I go back to the anchor, and I minus one anchor. Remember? We did that too. Now it's straight line. I can even press shift if I want it super straight. That's okay. Then I go to the next anchor, and I press shift to make it straight. You see that? Again, underarm. Connect, same thing. I go to the next shoulder, and I click and drag, guys. Now you understand why I made you minus anchors and adding anchors. So now I know that I need to minus an anchor, so I go back and I click on the anchor, and I connect it. Now, this one, I go to the middle, I create two anchors at the same time. You see that? And then I go back and it creates a circle. Now, let's just say this image is bothering me a little bit to make revisions. Same thing as in Photoshop. You see the little eye? I take it out. You see it's not equal? That's fine. You know why? Because my anchors are there. I'm going to introduce a new tool, which is the direct selection tool. This little white arrow. Photoshop does not have that. Illustrator is the only one that has it. Okay? So click on it. I can go and click on by dots. Not by lines, but by dots. Look. I can just move dot, dot. Same thing here. If that anchor is not really pretty, what I do is, okay, let me click that anchor by itself. You see I hover and I go. Same thing, shift, no shift, shift, no shift. You see that? Shift, no shift. Shift just makes everything angular, meaning 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 45 degrees. Okay? Done. Now let's go back to my image. And what do you know? Now it looks prettier. Fine. Then what I do here, I think the outline, usually I want the way to do flats is your outlines is what shows what's the outside, what's the scene, what's not a scene, being consistent. I think this should be at least 3 points. That looks better. Now I'm going to make the neckline. Try your best. We're gonna draw the line with the neckline. Click from the shoulder, find the center as best as you can, and click and drag. You can see clicking and dragging. Click and drag to best fit that shape. If we do one side of the anchor, that means that we can get preview of the next one. And I can show you what I mean by this. Let me show you. Click and drag, but you see if I go back to the same anchor, it's already creating it for me. You see it? It's a preview. Now you're using it, and once I click it, it's done. Okay? But at the same time, go into sketching. This line is too thick to show that it's a binding. We want to differentiate what's the outside edge, what's the inside. So when we go back to our strokes, and maybe I make it a 1. That looks better already. You see that? Now, same thing. I might not need the image right now because what I can do now is, let me do a line for the binding of the armhole. So I click here, and I click to the underarm, which is a little more inside, and I rounded it off. Now, this is not perfect. I want to get out of this, put escape. I go back to my direct selection tool with an A right here, the little white one, and I'm gonna play with the anchor. Maybe I need to just move one, and there you go, done. I am not showing you how to mirror things right now. I want you to get used to drawing by itself. Same thing, this is a binding. It looks a little too thick. Let's change it to 0.5. Doesn't that look better already, guys? There's a 0.5 instead of 0.1. I'll be looking for this. Same thing with the bottom. I need to show the hem. Let's do that. That's it. Same thing with this line again. I want to show the binding because it's binded. Binding means that it's a piece of fabric wrapped around the edge that is in both sides. Like I will say most t-shirts have that. So I can do this again and try my best. Just try your best, guys. And I mirror it, and I'm not mirroring, sorry. I'm using those levers. Look at the difference now. I can see the difference, the weights of the line show me what is this, okay? This is your homework. I just want you to draw a tank. Do not worry about making it symmetrical. It's okay. Today, I think this is more than enough information for you guys to make it symmetrical. I just need to make sure you guys are able to do line work right now. You see that? That's it. That's how this is how I want my tank to look. Yeah.
When you finish the other side of the hem, do you have to press shift before?
Yeah, so for example, look, you got it. For example, I want to make a straight line. If I were not to press shift, look, shift, not shift, shift, not shift. But I'm so used to Illustrator now that I know, you see that? I know a straight line pretty well. So if you're not sure, always use shift. You see that? Helps you. You don't have to think about a straight line so much, okay? Just try your best, guys, on making a tank, okay? That's why I meant, let's do an armhole again. So how will you do it? You go from here to here, a straight line first, and then on the second dot, which is you click and drag. That's how you make an armhole. And that's why I made you do all those little wave exercises. Because think about it. How am I going to make this straight sizing again? You take away the anchor because it's making everything curvy. No, no, no. We take it away by clicking on the anchor, and now it's straight. There, now everything's making sense, correct? Yes. Yes. Are we going around?